the thought?
Well, I was doing the homeless lifestyle out in Arizona in the desert, so I could empathize with homeless people. And I was sleeping in a tent out in the desert there near Quartzsite, Arizona. And at precisely midnight, God woke me up and said, I want you to walk across America. Well, I thought I was imagining something, This is the wrong door you're knocking on here. So I just went back to sleep. The next night, at precisely midnight, he woke me up again and said, I want to talk to you about that walk across America. And my attitude was, I thought we settled it last night. But he waited until the third night, woke me up at midnight again, and said, I'm serious about this walk across America. So when God's really serious, you got to pay attention to my opinion. So I took on the project, not knowing what it was all about, really. But he started giving me little bits and pieces as I started planning the route. Planned the route for about a year and a half. Planned the walk for about a year and a half. And my wife and I are normally missionaries to Uganda. My wife was still in Uganda, and I notified her that I was going to be walking across America, and she had never heard of such a thing. And I said, I need your help. I need you to come back from Uganda and be the support person.
What's the message to people? What message are you sharing?
The message is that God wants to bless America as America was once blessed. But he cannot bless America unless they meet the conditions of 2 Chronicles 7:14. Which is basically to humble yourself, pray, turn from your wicked ways, seek a relationship with God, and put God back in as the head coach.
You said this is not a race.
No, it's not a race. I want to connect with as many people as I can along the way. I want to impact America as a country in a positive way. I'm only finding 1 out of 5 people in America that I encounter who are pleased with what's going on in this country. I just talked to a couple down, just a block down the street that live in this historic hotel. And they said, this is not the same country that I grew up in. And it's not the same country because God has been disfellowshipped from every corner of society except the 4 walls of church sanctuaries. And God is not to be confined in temples made with hands. Christians should be able to testify to their faith. They don't have to proselytize, but they should be able to have free speech to say what they believe and to be protected from being fired for exercising their religious convictions.
You said, when I asked you a few minutes ago, you don't practice war anymore.
Don't practice war anymore. I am a Vietnam War veteran, and as far as I can tell, I'm the first veteran to ever hand carry an American flag from coast to coast when I get finished. That's the historic aspect. I'm the second oldest man to ever walk this walk. The women have outdone us on that one. But anyway,
let me ask you, it may seem like a ridiculous question. How many days have you been walking? How many pairs of shoes have you gone through?
Well, I talked to several people who have walked this trek, and they told me it's going to be anywhere from 6 to 8, even up to 15 pair of shoes. This is my 86th day of the walk, and I have not worn out 1 pair of shoes. What I do is I rotate the shoes. Now I've worn out several pair of insoles, and I do replace the insoles so that my feet don't suffer. But you see, the actual body of the shoe holds up pretty well. It's the insole that suffers and breaks down.
Any scary moments?
Yes. I've walked through about 50 miles of bear country, alligator country, snake country. I've had dogs attack me, and I've seen angels protect me in real scary moments.
Anything else that I haven't asked you, or that you think is important to put out there?
I like to use two different analogies because I'm in what they call the Bible Belt. Have been for the whole trip. It's what some people would call the home field advantage. And they say, Pastor, you're preaching to the choir. And I really had to think about that one. That one challenged me. And I asked God, what's the deal? Why do you want me to preach to the choir? And he said, well, the choir needs to sing the song. And what's happened is many of them have lost their voices. Others have forgotten the song. And still others do not come to choir practice. So, I am trying to get the choir to sing again. I'm promoting a new birth of freedom and integrity in America, calling attention to the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, and our nation's founding documents. And whether I'm in the Bible Belt or whether I'm at the most liberal end of the country, God wants to bless us. He loves us, and He wants America to have a relationship with Him.
In a nutshell, what's the mission?
I'm promoting a new birth of freedom and integrity in America, calling attention to the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, and our nation's founding documents. I'm also emphasizing parental rights, to educate their children without interference from government, to medicate their children without the interference of government. I'm also promoting...
It's all right, let me... You said that God had to tell you how many times to do this?
He woke me up 3 times. 3 nights in a row. And I argued with him 2 nights. The third night, he said he was serious. So I said, I can't argue with God. So he didn't want an athlete. He didn't want a young man. He wanted an old veteran in the ministry to carry this message because it's very serious. It's based on 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, that's a relationship, and turn from their wicked ways, that's the key. Then he says, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sin, oh, that's a good one, and I will heal their land, and that's exactly what we need in America.
I joked earlier that you were wearing out souls and saving souls.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm wearing out insoles, and I hope at least one person is saved as the result of this mission.
There have been, you said earlier and kind of summed it up. What all have you walked through? I mean, it sounds like it's been kind of scary.
Well, I walked through about 50 miles of bear country, alligator country, snake country, and my pace car stays pretty close by.
You said that angels had watched over you as well?
You know, we had a wreck in South Carolina. It was a wreck that was initiated by someone who wanted to disturb the walk, evidently, because the mechanic said...
But who do you credit with keeping you safe? Who's watching over?
Well, the angels are really busy when it comes to this walk. They're working overtime.
That's... What was the other? There was one other question. Don't move. I had written down 4 questions. Are you in a hurry to get there?
No, I'm not in a race. I'd like to take the rest of my life on this walk. It's all about people. Networking with communities, networking with city officials, pastors, lay people, common man. I want to make an impact on our nation in a positive manner. And when the walk is over, I don't know what's next.
So why do you salute everybody?
You know, I salute everyone that I see because God told me to carry the flag, which is a symbol of honor and respect, and to show respect to the American public. You know, we've lost respect in our country. We've lost self-respect. We've lost respect in our families. Parents and children don't respect each other anymore, by and large. And so God said, esteem others greater than yourselves. Salute everyone and set an example of respect for the American public.
Appreciate it.